Up next, we have Popular, and this is, of course, following Dancing Through Life when Galinda and Elphaba have a greater understanding of each other. They have fallen into this unexpected friendship, and now Glinda is is doing her best and is swearing to do what she can to improve her social standing at Shiz University and make her popular. Oh my gosh, this song. This is what I mean when I say like there are obvious songs with any musical you're going to enjoy. With Wicked, Defying Gravity, and Popular. And then there are others, of course, but those are probably the two that just like and Popular is a great song. It is. And it just shows the development of this friendship that's happening, but also it shows that Galinda is not very self-aware. She's not. And it shows her ideology on life and how, in a way, it is speaking to a very political aspect of the world, which is populism, which was also part of the original story, like all the way, like the Wizard of Oz, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. That was even a piece of that story. And there's some truth to it. It's like, hey, it's not about your aptitude, it's the way you're viewed. You know, you don't have to be this. Hey, they were popular. That's all you need. And honestly, you know, if we look at history, if we look at the world, if we look at a lot of things, we know that is very, very true. And sometimes that's really what it comes down to. But a lot of it is also Galinda feeling like she is helping Elphaba by reassessing her sad state of affairs and saying, whoo, it's giving trash. Let's fix that. So in a way, it's kind of a messed up song as well, but it's so fun that, and you get the meanings along with the enjoyment of it. And you realize amidst all the foolery and shenanigans, she genuinely, and we can see that she genuinely wants Elphaba to see how beautiful she truly is. And it's a very poignant moment. So I don't want to discount that. I also have to say that, of course, Ariana Grande came through on this song, but I love, and it was very obvious to me, the extension that they had at the end, where the la-las are extended, and then she does the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, you know, you'll be popular. And I was like, okay, because, you know, I can see things from the trailer. I just remember there was a part where she spins, and I was like, well, this is the end of the song. And then all of a sudden she just started doing the la-las. And I was like, and then finally she did the spin as she was doing the la. I was like, oh, okay. And so listening to it, I think that was a great choice. I actually like that they did that. There's another song, I think they do this with another couple of songs where they maybe tweak the lyrics a little bit, and they may extend a couple of aspects of it that weren't there before. And for the most part, there were no changes they made there within the songs I thought were bad. And I think this is another one where I'm like, vocally, that was a great choice. So, Popular, I mean, what can you say? It's popular for a reason. Up next, we have Defying Gravity. And Defying Gravity is one of those songs that even if you don't know what Wicked is or you're not familiar with the specifics, you have either seen a visual of Defying Gravity or you've heard Defying Gravity on some level. It's one of those that just always finds a way to make it through time and space and various mediums. And I think it's just one of those that no matter who you are, you have some semblance, for the most part, you might have some semblance of this. But I also think what is so impactful about Defying Gravity is that it's one of those songs, much like This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, that really speak to empowerment, that speak to self-confidence and self-assurance, and really redefining how one sees oneself. And I think that is what is so impactful about this song. It's not just about her becoming, because the thing is, with certain songs or certain film stories where a character goes to the dark side, there is usually a descent into darkness. But in this case, it's not darkness that she's descending into. She's ascending into her true self, the part that she's been holding back. She's been suppressing herself because of expectations, her father, her sister, society, all these things. It's like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. So if you care to find me, just look to the western sky, okay? As someone told me lately, everyone deserves a chance to fly. So I am taking your advice and I am doing just that. It really is a great song in all aspects, and I think Cynthia's rendition of it is dependent on what your enjoyment of other versions are. It doesn't take away from her version. It's just that everyone has a certain one. And as much as I enjoyed Cynthia's, I have another version that I enjoy personally. That is Willemijn Verkijk. That is my Elphaba. Okay? It is. Again, not a knock to Cynthia, not really a knock to anyone who's performed, but I feel like everyone has their favorite, and Willemijn is mine. Which, that rhymes. But yeah, Willemijn, whoo! Powerhouse. So really her take on any of the songs, that's gold standard for me. But I still think Cynthia does a great job. The only thing I wish, and this isn't a knock on her, I wish that with the marketing we hadn't heard that last riff so often. I wish they had done a different version of it and then saved it for, or saved a new version of the riff, however they wanted to do it, for the final film. Because ultimately, especially if you've seen it in that Target commercial, which they have played ad nauseum, it's like, I have heard this plenty of times. So I do wish they had done that. I also think that because visually, there's so much that the creators or even Jon M is trying to do with that scene, it gets a little bogged down. I appreciate the fact that she's jumping and she doesn't immediately get what she's trying to do, and it's more of a, okay, I gotta, it's her kind of reaching back into that inner child. Like, I get that part, but I think there's a lot of stuff going on with the visuals, and I think it kind of takes away a little bit from the simplicity of what you see on the stage. Although I do like the way they reference the cherry picker effect that you see on the stage with the massive cape and the way that the angle pans downward, so you're looking upward towards her the same way you would as an audience member. I thought that was great. There was also a moment similar to Popular where we see where lyrics are extended or repeated, as in the Unlimited, where she repeats that. I thought that was another great choice. And by defying gravity, she is also defying rules, defying expectations, defying perceptions, defying like limitations, defying all of that. So it has a much deeper significance. And I think it's one of those songs that can definitely reach so many different people in so many different ways. And pretty much everyone, I think, can see themselves, a little bit of themselves, in this song. Up next, we have Dancing Through Life. This is another one that shocked me because I remember Dancing Through Life, and it was a enjoyable song, but I think the film takes it somewhere else. And I think the way that they utilize the library, the rotating bookshelves, Jonathan Bailey's performance as Fiyero, like all of it works together so well. And it really gave me a greater appreciation for the song than I would have had before, honestly. I love the stop studying strife and learn how to live the unexamined life. Life's more painless for the brain. Aha! Aha! One thing I also forgot is that this song sets up so much that happens in the future. Whew, in more ways than one. I completely forgot about the development with Nessa Rose and Bach. I knew that I knew there was something, I couldn't remember how all that came together. So then seeing what Glinda does, and then seeing how Elphaba then turns to Madame Morrible, like all that I had forgotten about. So that was a nice reintroduction for me. I love when they do the We Deserve Each Other, especially when Nessa Rose and Bach do it, even though it has an ominous feeling because I know how that's going to turn out. And because Bach is not honest, both of you are headed into disaster. I don't like saying it, but it's like when they sing it, it's just like, no. Mayday, mayday! It's beautiful in the moment, but there is an element of tragedy to it because it's built on a lie. And that lie becomes something even more significant in the future. So, yeah, so that part of it is tough, but there are things that are being put in place for the future, as I said. And I think the most significant part of this, as far as the film, is how Dancing Through Life ties into, much like the stage musical, but it ties into that moment with Elphaba and Glinda and what that means for them to see each other differently, especially for Glinda, because we know that she has given her that hat on purpose. And when she realizes what she's actually done after finding out what Elphaba did for her, it's just like, oh, yeah, this is pretty grimy of you to do. But then it's even more significant because she uses her power, so to speak, of popularity and swaying the masses. And the thing is, when she steps out, I think everybody's just kind of like, so she kind of puts herself out there in a way that is obviously weird and uncomfortable. And when her friends are just like, what are you doing? You need to stop. She's like, no, no. It's about a moment between the two of them and how they see each other. And then everybody just falls in line because it's like, oh, okay, well, now we look dumb because they're, you know what I'm saying? And in that, it's Glinda recognizing the influence she has and realizing that she doesn't have to use it against someone. She doesn't have to weaponize that. And she ends up doing the opposite. And for Elphaba, it's so significant because she is standing up, to bullies. She is standing up to society in a sense. It's just like, yeah, I'm odd and I don't fit in, and I'm not going to let you make me feel this way, even though she still feels it. And so for Glinda to do that, it becomes a very poignant moment, and that moment got me. It really did. It's already a poignant moment on the stage, but the way that they did it here, it was just like, yeah, that is the moment for me. You guys did a great job with this, and yeah. So Dancing Through Life, just so much that is wrapped up in it, which I had forgotten about, and just how well executed it is on that front. And I also like that on the soundtrack we have the Oz duet. We have that music that is playing while Elphaba and Glinda are dancing together. I thought that was great as well. So yes, Dancing Through Life was a standout for me, and I enjoy it. Really, really great. And at number 1, we have No One Mourns the Wicked. This was a tough decision. In a way, not, because like I said, all these are good in some way. But I had to think about the significance of each song and how each of them hit me. And I think what really works about No One Mourns the Wicked, first, let me say that back in high school, I feel like it was a lip sync, but we literally had to go and we performed in high school No One Mourns the Wicked. I was one of the Munchkins. I remember another one of my classmates was Glinda. Another one was Elphaba, as far as the influence of the witch. And we performed the entire thing, and had to do the choreography for the Munchkins and everything, and the Wicked and everything. But that was my general introduction to that number. I was like, I don't know anything about this. And it was something that gave me an appreciation for it long before I had the chance to see it for myself. But I think what is great about it, and for me, honestly, as soon as I heard the overture hit the way that it did, I was just like, I honestly had chills, especially when I heard the like for the kind of the theme in there that represents the monkeys, flying through and the moment they have on stage. When we saw that, and then we see the monkeys flying, I was just like, oh man. And then let me just say this: the orchestra. I know this is the music also just from the original stage musical, but there was something about, I don't know who did what. I don't know what additional orchestra they brought in, but hearing this on the big screen and in the theater speakers and so on and so forth, it just hit differently for me. And then when Glinda comes in and the music that plays when you see her, I was just like, geez, like I knew this was some good stuff, but this is hitting very differently. And I think that for me, what really pulled me in completely with No One Mourns the Wicked on the big screen is, one, Ariana's performance, because you get the sense, I don't know if you always get it watching the stage musical, but you absolutely get here that this is a layered experience for her. and it doesn't mean what everyone assumes it means. And the song itself is very subversive. It really is. Everyone else, the Munchkins, are saying, no one mourns the wicked, and da-da-da-da-da. And she is the one who is actually creating sympathy for the Wicked Witch. She's explaining all these things. And because she never says no one mourns the wicked, it adds to the dimension of the song, because she has to pretend as if that is her outlook as well. Like, yes, great, good news. But it's like, what does that really mean for someone you knew as a friend? And other things, down the road, what does that really mean? And I think when we see her be the one to burn the effigy in the film and all that, it just hits differently, because Glinda's position in that song is so conflicted, despite the fact that everyone else is saying no one mourns the wicked. What she is displaying is that, in fact, no, one mourns the wicked. And since Glinda also is not referencing the wicked in specifics, we are led to believe, especially when she says the wicked die alone, the wicked's lives are lonely, we are led to believe, considering the circumstances, that Glinda may be seeing herself as wicked given the outcome of everything. So additionally, we are meant to know that one mourns, the wicked. I was like, wow. Wow. And it's like, yeah, there's a deeper meaning to all of this. And going into it, you probably wouldn't know that. But once you have that deeper meaning in the context of all of it, it's like, wow. And once you see what Glinda is really doing in that scene, it adds a whole lot of dimension to it. And I think Ariana Grande Butera, I think she did a great job. I mean, she did a bang-up job. And those operatic notes, I found out that she had trained, so that she could reach that. And I was blown away. Because, I mean, we already know Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo can sing, but when she hit those, I was like, oh, well, all right. Taking the game to another level, I see. So, yes. That officially wraps up my ranking of the Wicked Part 1 soundtrack. Of course, when Part 2 rolls around, there will be additional songs to discuss. But for now, these are my general thoughts. This is my general ranking. And I'd be interested in seeing what some of you all's favorite songs are, or what your ranking is. You can drop down in the comments and let me know, and just what your appreciation of the music is, and how it works for you, and just what you appreciate about it. It's something really enjoyable for me, and I think it's just one piece of the puzzle that makes Wicked such an impactful musical on so many levels. So, once again, this is D, Movieman, signing off, and I'll see you at the movies.